Hello everybody, welcome mamas. My name is Michelle and I'm a women's health physiotherapist and Pilates instructor. And today I have my little daughter's baby doll on a beautiful sling, which is making me feel all broody, to be honest. But I'm sure if you've got your little ones, do get them. If you're comfortable, have them in your slings today, because we're going to be showing you how exercise doesn't have to be about going to the gym and doing a routine as such. It can actually be something that you can fit into little nuggets throughout your day whilst you've got little ones close to you, because as mums we are masters of multitasking. So I am a co-founder of Fly Mama, which stands for First Love Yourself Mama. And Fly Mama is all about helping you to move your body well, to rebuild your strength, to heal your body, and to then thrive through motherhood. And we do this through movement, which is what this class is all about, but also through matrescence coaching, which is motherhood coaching, and through our education series, which I lead as a women's health physiotherapist, but also have guest speakers on as well. So today's class is a little taster of what you may find in our rebuild series. So let's get started. So we're going to start off by thinking about our posture when we're standing. Okay, because it's very easy to drop your hips out and to perhaps arch your back a little bit too much and not have our glutes engaged. Okay, so what I want you to think about is, imagine you've got a tail between your legs. You're going to squeeze your bottom and tuck your tailbone underneath you. So when you're holding your little ones in the sling, you're just going to practice tilting your pelvis back and forth from one to the other. And what we should be feeling as well is that majority of the weight of the sling should be on your hips, not dragging through your shoulders. So if you're unsure, then I do recommend you go to a sling library, get yourself properly assessed and measured so that you feel comfortable in the sling that you've got. Okay, and then really just tilting your pelvis back and forth, back and forth. Now the key is to squeeze your back passage first. So you imagine you're stopping wind. I got it? So from then, I want you to squeeze your bottom and then tuck your tailbone under. Okay, so then let your tailbone come out. Take a breath in now. Then as you breathe in, your tummy should gently fall a little bit into your hands. And then as you breathe out, you're going to squeeze your back passage. Tuck your tailbone under and squeeze your bottom as you do. Breathe in. Let it go. Breathe out, squeeze your back passage, tuck your tailbone as you squeeze your bottom, and really make sure that your bottom is engaging to help you to tuck that tailbone under. And as you do that, you will find that your back naturally flattens as well. And breathe in, let it go. Okay, so this is easy, right? It doesn't have to always feel like exercise. So just by getting that lumbar pelvic movement and dissociation, we can really help to ease off any lower back pain by helping you to work your breath. So when you breathe in, you let everything relax a little bit, and as you breathe out, that's when you start to draw things in. This can help you to heal and recover your pelvic floor as well as your core muscles. Okay, and it draws in your core and the breath out. We're going to try that once more. As you breathe in, you let things go. As you breathe out, you squeeze your back passage and you draw your belly button towards your spine and up towards your head. And then you let it go as you breathe out. So I'm doing the tilt at the same time. I'm breathing in. As I breathe out, I'm tucking my tailbone under. I'm drawing my core in and up. And then as I breathe out, I let it go. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let it go. Good. Okay, we go through this a lot more and in more detail, and we show you how to progress it on some of our rebuild classes. But let's keep this functional and fun now, ladies. So have you got the ability? What's your balance like? How are you at standing on one leg? Okay, so let's just give this a little practice. Now, if you're on something soft and squidgy, it does make it harder. So make sure you're nice and stable through this one. So you're going to transfer your weight onto your left-hand side. You're going to tuck your tailbone under, squeeze your bottom, draw your pelvic floor in, draw your core in to lift your leg up. Now, if you don't, and you find that you may be wobbling all over the place, or it's just a bit harder, then really think about those steps we just went through. So breathe in to prepare, breathe out, tuck your tailbone under, squeeze your bottom, draw your pelvic floor in and up to help you to balance. Really nice, ladies, well done, and come back down with that leg. Let's just keep practicing that. I want you to think about really growing tall through the standing leg, which in this case is my left leg, as I'm coming up and down. Good. So you shouldn't see any movement from my shoulders or my head. So as I'm coming up and down, you should barely see that I'm moving here. But already, just by doing this, my bottom's really engaged. You can feel me working this standing leg to stabilize. And then you're going to give it a little dip. So can you now go a little dip, control it. Now the things to watch out for when you're dipping is that your ankle isn't rolling in too much and that your knee isn't coming in. As you do a gentle little dip down and back up. Great work, guys, well done. Okay, and you can see, right, you could do this while you may be boiling the kettle or just having sort of doing some chores around the house. You can practice your single leg and your squeezing of your bottom. Draw your core in. Just take your weight over to the right hand side now, and then make sure you're stabilized before you lift your leg up, and just keep practicing that one. One of the questions I ask my clients a lot is, how much do you stand on one leg? And they sort of go to me, well, never. Why would I stand on one leg? I don't need to stand on one leg. Well, I challenge you. So every single time you take a step, you are effectively standing on one leg. Now, it may not be for long, but you are standing on one leg. So keep going with this exercise if you're comfortable, but I'm just going to demonstrate now. So as you take a step forward, you transfer your weight and you stand on one leg for a short period of time before you transfer your weight and stand on the other leg. So if you do not have the strength and control to stand on that leg and balance, say for example, if you're trying to practice the standing on one legs and you're dropping your hips out, perhaps when you're walking, you're dropping your hips out. So we get a nice little catwalk model going on, okay? Which, might look great on the catwalk, but isn't very good for our backs and our hips because it puts a lot more strain through our pelvis and through our backs. So every time you take a step, if you are dropping the hip out and you're not engaging your glutes, you can be more prone to back pain, hip, groin, etc. So I want you to challenge yourself when you're walking. So if you're still doing this exercise, guys, come back now and join me. So you're going to put your hands on your bottom as long as your baby feels supported. You're going to put your hands onto your bottom and you're just going to practice walking forwards. And as you transfer your weight onto your left leg, check that your bottom might be through a few layers of squidge, but that's okay. You are postnatal. Check that your bottom is engaged, okay? And then transfer your weight onto the other side and check, does it feel like it's firming up as you put the weight on it? Or does it feel like you drop your hip down and it goes all squidgy? Okay, is it dropping? Or is it nice and getting kind of tighter and firmer as you stand on that leg? Okay, so practice now walking around wherever you are and really thinking, are you engaging that bottom as you're walking? Now, as long as you feel safe to do so, I want you to then practice walking backwards, because momentum and habit and everything else means that we can often cheat when we're walking forwards, and we can make it work, okay, because we're used to doing it. We do it all the time, right? We can walk forwards. Walking backwards takes a little bit more practice and coordination, and it's not as forgiving. Okay, so just practice for me now, walking backwards and forwards and feeling what that feels like. Okay, can you find yourself a step? Now, it can be the bottom step of your house, okay, but please do make sure it is the bottom step. I do not want any accidents, any falling down the stairs, particularly when you've got your precious little ones, but it's realistic, okay? We have to get down the stairs with our little ones. So I'm going to show you now with the step box, but you can find your bottom step at home if you feel safe to do so. So just show you some stepping exercises, just to sort of see how we can manage our activation of our glutes and our core when we're going up and down the stairs. So let's take our left leg up onto the step now, okay? Now, when you transfer your weight, I want you to think, am I squeezing that bottom? Tuck your tailbone and squeeze your bottom as you transfer your weight and lift your right leg up. And then slow, control it down. Okay, what tends to happen is if we're weak in our glutes, we perhaps drop our hip out to the side. So as we stand, we drop and we come up sideways. Okay, I want us to really tuck under, come up straight from there. Okay, give that another go. Keep practicing. You're really focusing on squeezing your bottom and coming up. So if at any point I said to you, I want you to stop and see if you can control it. So if you come up on that one leg and I go, stop, you would be able to hold and control it all the way through the strength of that leg and then back up and then come down. Great work. Let's see if we can do the other side. So can you come up on your right side, really squeeze your bottom to control it, come up, and then slowly lower it back down. Okay, can you now come up, and I'm going to say stop, and you're going to hold it. Now, normally we have one side that is harder than the other. Now, if you didn't go with a particular side that I said, you just went with whichever one felt good. Normally, we will naturally go with our stronger side first. So just take note of yourself. What did you go with? Have you got one side that feels maybe that little bit weaker or that little bit stronger than the other? And perhaps if you do have a weaker side, that's the side that you need to work on that little bit more. So when you've gone up the stairs, I then want you to control your weight coming down. So from here, we are going to then step and control down. So you're going to stand on the step and you're going to facing down the stairs, but make sure you're on the bottom step if you're doing this as an exercise. You're just going to slow and control down. And then you're going to push through the leg that's still on the step. So my left leg, I'm squeezing my bottom, whoo, and I'm pushing through as I'm coming back up. Slowly coming down, squeezing my bottom as I'm coming back up. Slow squeeze as I come back up. Great work, guys. Try the other side now. Come down and squeeze as we come back up. Great work. Well done. Come on. Have you got one side that feels a little bit more challenging than the other side? Just work on that side that does. Okay. And then rest off. All right. Let's just move our hips now. Okay. How many of us do this with our little ones? Okay, come on, let's go to sleep now. All right. Not only is that lovely and comforting for them, but actually it's not a bad idea for us as well. So can we sort of put some music on and actually just sort of have a little bit of a boogie? Now, I'm not expecting you to jump around. Everybody's postnatal journey is going to be different and how you feel in your pelvic floor, but movement is good, okay? So gently, I want you to just move your hips from side to side. Let's get our pelvis loosening off. Maybe get a figure of 8 going on or a little circle, little salsa hips. And also music and moving your body, it tends to release the endorphins and just generally make us feel so much better. And the baby's going to pick up on that too. So, when you're walking around the house, just loosen yourself off by easing your back, wiggling your hips and loosening yourself up. Really good, guys. Okay. And finally, because I am a physio, I'm going to just say that carrying our babies is incredible. And if we do it well, it can really help us to recover and strengthen our own bodies as well. However, do not underestimate how much carrying your little one actually puts extra weight physically through your already healing body. So if you are feeling any symptoms, like any heavy or draggy feeling symptoms down below, if you're getting any sort of pressure pain or pressure feeling sort of down below, it may be a sign that actually your pelvic floor is a little bit weak. And it may be that at the beginning of the day, you don't feel those symptoms, you feel absolutely fine. But towards the end of the day, it starts to feel a bit heavy, or you may feel that you're fine if you go for a 20-minute walk with the little one in the sling, but after half an hour, it starts to feel too much. These are all signs that your pelvic floor muscles perhaps are still a little bit weak, and then they need to be strengthened up a little bit more. So just like any exercise program, you would build yourself up, right? So postnatally, when you are carrying your little ones, I want you to see it like you are building yourself up to being stronger and more in control. So if you are feeling those symptoms, I want you to think to try and stop just before they start to come on or get worse. Okay, if you are getting any leaking at all, coughing, sneezing, jumping, anything like that, and carrying your little one makes it worse, then again, just take yourself back a step to try and reduce that down. If you are feeling the back pain, then a lot of the pelvic tilt exercises that I gave you just now, really squeezing your bottom, tucking your tailbone in and drawing your core in and up, can really help to relieve some of that. But it may be that it's just too much. If you're feeling a lot around your thoracic spine and your shoulders, then by all means, there is plenty more exercises on the platform where we show you how to release the tension in your jaw and your neck and your shoulders. And I do a lot of a thoracic mobility as well, which is all around the chest to try and help to open up any tension that you're feeling through there. But also check that if you're carrying your little one, like I said at the beginning, that you're not having too much weight going down on your shoulders. When you're in a backpack of any description, including the baby carrier, you should be mostly feeling the load spread between the hips, so it's not as heavy on the shoulders and it doesn't cause you to drag your shoulders forward. It's been an absolute pleasure to welcome you to this session today. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do comment, let us know how you got on. And we really hope to welcome you onto Fly Mama platform soon. If you've got any more questions, please do feel free to ask, and have a wonderful time carrying your little ones and enjoying this beautiful time to be able to do baby carrying. Bye everybody.